medical correspondent here at NPR put it.
Fluffy, light. It's just kind of luscious.
We are, of course, talking about the Twinkie.
Yesterday, after we learned that the Twinkie's maker, Hostess Brands, had filed for bankruptcy, our science desk decided to run an experiment.
I want to know, if you put a Twinkie into Mountain Dew, will it dissolve?
That's NPR health policy correspondent Julie Goffner.
And for the record, the Twinkie did not dissolve, it floated.
Well, our little experiment inspired James Wells of Cincinnati to send us this story. He's the youngest of 7 kids and writes, "It was rare that a box of Twinkies went unmolested in my household, so much so that my mom started to hide them in unusual places. Needless to say, game on. My brothers and sisters and I found Twinkies in the dryer, under the couch, even in my mom's underwear drawer. All is fair in love and Twinkie war. However, my mom found the ultimate hiding spot, so much so that she forgot where she hid them."
Wells goes on to say, "It was not until we retired our 19-inch black and white TV that we found the Twinkie graveyard. There, behind the TV, was a Twinkie box with one lone survivor. Now, only carbon dating would have been able to tell us how long that Twinkie had sat behind the TV. The TV had been host to shows ranging from Ed Sullivan to MASH, so we decided that there was really only one thing to do, and it was delicious."
And so is your letter, Mr. Wells. Thanks for writing. To write to us, just go to npr.org and click on Contact Us at the bottom of the page.
Yahoo! It's Twinkie the Kid! Wow!
Howdy, partners! Come on to Hostess Twinkie Town for some golden sponge cake Twinkies.
Watch out! They're stealing the Hostess Twinkie!
Watch this. Here's your reward.
Thanks! Creamy filling!
Yep, you get a big delight in every bite of Hostess Twinkies.
It's All Things Considered from NPR News.
And this is KUHF NPR for Houston. Getting a look at the roadways now, here's Keith Miles.
Southbound 610 West Loop is generally jammed from Post Oak Boulevard to Beach Nut. Northbound on I-45, you're slow from the North Loop to Gulf Bank and again from Airtex to the Hardy Toll Road. Northbound 59 is slow from Cross Timbers to Hopper. And the westbound on 225 from 146 over to the East Loop will take you 15 minutes. That's a look at your traffic. I'm Keith Miles.
Support for KUHF comes from Sullivan Stollier, the Health Law Center, providing solutions for the reimbursement, compliance, and business needs of healthcare providers since 1987. New Orleans, Dallas, Lafayette, Pittsburgh, Sullivan Stollier means health law, thehealthlawcenter.com.
I'm John Donvan, host and moderator of Intelligence Squared US, where Oxford-style debating comes stateside and takes on America's hot-button issues.
Right now, 1 in 5 men are out of work.
Women have figured out a way to navigate the tough economy better than men.
For every 2 men who get a college degree, 3 women will do the same.
We're talking about women surpassing men. The next motion up for debate, men are finished.
You can hear Intelligence Squared Sunday evening at 6 here on KUHF. And if you're shopping online, consider Amazon.com, which contributes a portion of purchases to KUHF when listeners access the Amazon website from KUHF.org. 46 degrees out, news time is 5:50.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Melissa Blanc.
And I'm Audie Cornish. Today at noon, America's oldest working clock tower rang out for the first time since the 1800s. Old South Meeting House in Boston was a Puritan gathering place. Ben Franklin was baptized there, and the Boston Tea Party was planned there. But the belfry has been silent since 1876, after the brick building was nearly destroyed in the Great Boston Fire. Today, that silence came to an end, and Kurt Nickish of member station WBUR was there.
When the last strike reverberated away into the sound of raindrops on the roof above, David Hochstrasser breathed a sigh of relief.
No one alive has ever seen this clock actually strike a bell. I had a lot of doubts and a lot of worries along the way.
He's been hooking up the 1766 tower clock to ring the bell on the hour, ever since the bell was raised to the belfry a few weeks ago to fanfare. A choir sang as a crane gently lifted the 876 pounds of cast iron into the clock tower. In the crowd below, Mary Holland craned her neck and the camera.
It was very exciting to see, and it seems a little hokey, you know, like we're grown up and we're jaded now, but it gave me like goosebumps. This is our history. This is America, you know, the revolution. It was really cool, you know?
Really cool because this bell was cast in 1801 by Paul Revere. It's been hanging in a church in the Boston suburbs, an old Baptist congregation, but the church recently closed and the remaining members, including Joanne Nelson, agreed to let Revere's bell go.
And today was really very emotional watching it go up into that. But this is where it belongs. This is where it belongs. It's gonna ring.
And so it did for the first time today. James Storrow's heart swelled with pride.
It felt like something I was put here to do.
He's from an old, wealthy Boston family and donated the money to install the bell.
I feel my ancestors patting me on the back, saying, good job, and that's not a feeling I'm used to.
It's also a new feeling to hear Paul Revere's bell ring out from the Old South Meeting House. He's believed to have taken part in the Boston Tea Party here. The silversmith used his engravings to foment revolution. Later in life, after this country was founded, he turned to casting bells. Now this one rings on the hour over Boston, a symbol of peace, democratic order, and freedom. For NPR News, I'm Kurt Nickish in Boston.
The intergalactic nemesis started in a coffee shop in Austin, Texas in the 1990s. Then it morphed, or as this recent trailer goes...
First was a radio play, then a graphic novel. Now it's a live stage show.
The intergalactic nemesis is traveling around the country with 3 actors, 1,200 graphic novel images, a sound effects guy, and music. NPR's Margot Adler reports that it's a throwback to another era with some timeless appeal.
The intergalactic nemesis started with some scripts, a few actors, some crazy noises.
And the writers did not hold back. There was literally a sound for everything.
Jason Newlander is the director and producer of the show.
Including something that's still in the show, like the sound of hypnotism.
Just 2 children's noise-making tubes. Eventually, they teamed up with a graphic artist. There's a score involving piano and organ, a Foley artist making the sounds, 3 actors standing in front of old-fashioned microphones, and comic book images projected on a large movie screen. Newlander said it was fun mixing 2 old forms originally created in the 30s, radio plays and comics.
But without contemporary technology, this production would not be possible. Last year I had to buy a brand new laptop because my